Hey everybody, I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend or had a wonderful weekend, whatever it was that you were able to do with it. We're going to just do a quick what sold video today. It's not going to be super long because we're talking about that very first week in November, and it wasn't like the best, biggest weekend that we've ever had, although we are always definitely grateful for every sale that we do get. We're going to start off with eBay. We're talking about this cup and saucer. That was just kind of a fun find. I have had this for a while, and I have 5 of them, and I sold one. And so I feel like, I might have to take the 4 that are remaining and either lot them together or put them into 2s. I'm still trying to decide. Just trying to move them a little bit quicker. The reason I had gone one at a time, because part of what I felt was interesting about this cup and saucer was where it was sold. It was sold at, if we can look at the bottom mark, and this is kind of what got me geeked out about them anyway, is it's marked on the bottom Missoula Mercantile. And Missoula Mercantile it's the building is still there. It's in downtown Kalispell. And it was like late 1800s is when that branch was open. And around 1911, the Missoula Mercantile became the Kalispell. It just was renamed to the Kalispell Mercantile. So we know, and according to the back stamp of the Limoges mark, that kind of fits that time period as well. So just kind of fun, turn of the century little find. And, me and vintage, I'm always geeking out over the fact that, these were on the shelf in that building and somebody went and bought, cups and saucers, probably more than 5, but 5 is what was remaining at this point. And they're in really good condition. But anyway, I just thought somebody might want like one, to add to their collection. And then, if they wanted more than one, they definitely could change the quantity and they could, get a discount the more that they bought. But in any case, this person just bought one and they paid, I think it was either a coupon or something going, so they paid $26.99 for that. So I was happy to finally see one of those. Keep moving. Next up is this hat by Stormy Cromer. Now, you might not have heard that brand before. I think it's an REI kind of brand. We have sold a few different shirts by Stormy Cromer, like a chambray or a denim shirt and some other kind of flannel or something. And I was actually pleasantly surprised in the price that we got for those just kind of simple button shirts. So when we saw this hat, we thought, oh, that's a good brand. And so we picked that up. And somebody paid the full asking price of $24.99. It wasn't the fastest sale that we've ever had, but it did, within a few months, I think it did sell. Then I also had this this headband, ear warmer kind of thing. It's this season where this type of stuff, is starting to move pretty well. This one sold for $20. It just said Ski Shawnee on it, and that was a bins find, I'm sure. This was kind of a fun find. It was something that I've had in kind of my to-be listed pile, my profit pile for a while. And it is a book, obviously. And it was a true story. And I just thought it was an interesting, cover and everything. And it says, on top of the world, it was my adventures with my mountain climbing husband. And so, the inside was in pretty good shape. The dust jacket was not in the greatest shape. And I just was kind of in the mood one day and I just started grabbing things from random piles. I said, I'm going to try to get this listed. And then I opened it and found out that the author had signed it. And so I was like, all right, well, I was going to list it for like $10 or $15, but now I'm going to list it a little bit higher. But there's no comps as far as, it's not a well enough known thing where there was a bunch of signed, copies that I could use for comps. So I was like, you know what, anything higher than what I was originally going to list it for is going to make me happy. So I listed it for $50 and I sold it for $35 within a couple days. I just thought that was great. Anyone who would know to find this would probably really appreciate it. And so That was like the first offer I got. I just went ahead and took that. So I was happy about that one. Spanx. Anyway, Spanx, you know, they've moved on beyond just the body shaping stuff. And for a while now, I don't find a ton of it in my area, but I had found these leggings and we ended up selling these for $27.99. It still seems to be a fairly strong seller, even if, you know, prices might have come down since I first started hearing about it from other resellers. So that was $27.99. We sold another hat, winter style hat. You know, like I said, these types of things are picking up. This one we ended up just taking a $21 offer. I don't think it had a specific brand or anything associated with it. And I don't think it was wool. I think it was acrylic. Then next up, a pair of Duluth Trading men's flex dry on the fly cargo pants. Those sold for $29.99. And then this fun little purse I thought for sure would get snapped up on Depop, but you just never know. And I had picked this up, oh man, now you're going to test my memory. It kind of looks like a bins thing, but I think it was a yard sale. And I brought it home and then I realized that the ones that I had seen listed had a googly eye. As you can see, if I click over to it, it, you know, had a googly eye, and mine did not have a googly eye when I found it. So I kept my eyes open at the thrift store, so to speak, and I found a package of googly eyes. And so I'm like, well, you never know when you might need googly eyes again. And so we replaced the googly eye and, you know, mentioned it. I don't know. Anyway, we just sold it for $18. It, you know, it's just this little cute little novelty thing, and I think it's from the 90s, but anyway, that was just kind of fun to move on to a new owner. This little art pottery bowl did not sell for much, $12.74. As I said, it was kind of a slow week. I think we were just kind of, like, as you can see, it's listed for $14.99, so I might have been running a 10% sale by this point, and we had a moment there where Studio Pottery was selling really fast and pretty well for us, and then it's kind of slowed down a little bit. I don't know if it's just we're not finding as good pieces. We did have that honey hole for a while that had a lot of Studio Pottery, but I just feel like I haven't found anything great in a while. So this was kind of one of those just leftover pieces that we had picked up at some point. So it moved on. It's very pretty. The glaze on it is really pretty. Next up is this Pottery Barn Kids sham pillowcase kind of thing. And it was new in package. That was the reason I picked it up. I think it was $5, and we ended up selling it very quickly within a few days for $22. So Pottery Barn bedding in general can be good. Some Pottery Barn Kids stuff can be pretty good. I have had a Pottery Barn teen or whatever, like pillow sham listed for a bit, and it's new, and there's been no interest in that. So I don't know if we've sold Pottery Barn Kids, especially like Star Wars type stuff, and like the grown-up stuff, the linens and sheets and things like that can also do pretty well. So I don't know if it's a problem with the teen stuff or just that one pillowcase I have in specifically is not doing that great. We have this Polaroid flash. It's for Polaroid. It's ITT Magic Flash, and it sold for $34.99, but we had free shipping on it. For the most part, we don't do free shipping, but I think during those weeks where sales were really slow, Mr. Pishposh just started playing around with seeing what kind of incentives would work. And he was even saying he feels like there's certain categories that free shipping works better in, like maybe with electronics or things like that. So just kind of always testing, playing around with different things, because you just never know what's going to work for one person. You know, or not. And if you need sales, if you need cash flow, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm not a fan of free shipping, so we don't do it in general. Montana State University, this satin bomber jacket sold for $60. We accepted an offer on that. And next up was a belt, a Fossil belt. This sold for $24.99. It just kind of had some kind of like tooling or punching or whatever, and then it had some grommets. That might just be the holes where the belt thing goes through, so never mind. I was thinking they were all the way along, but I think that was a different one I'm thinking of. Anyway, that sold for $24.99. Yamazaki. So I think this is the last of the Yamazaki. I think I've sold everything I had. There could have been another sale later on in the month. I don't remember. But anyway, these knives sold for $22.49. And I was happy about that because knives are generally the slowest sellers of any pattern. And so to have the knives also sell within a month or so of everything being listed, that's pretty awesome. And then we have a tool Mr. Pish Posh was selling. Sold for $179.99. I think it was just a personal one that he's still kind of cleaning out tools of stuff he's not planning on doing any roofing anytime soon. So, or he's got another one. Who knows? Okay, so you guys might know the Dixon Flannel Company. I had just found this hat, picked it up because of that company, because of knowing that brand. And if you didn't, it is a name to kind of keep in the back of your head if you're looking at flannel shirts. Dixon flannel shirts can be very collectible because they have a certain pattern or style for a limited time, and then they retire the pattern. And so, I don't know what my hair is doing today. It's kind of wonky. Anyway, so the flannel shirts can do really, really well. Like, you have to look up each particular one when you come across it. The best Dixon Flannel Company shirt sale that we've ever had was actually a Hawaiian shirt. And so it didn't quite fit this, but it was a Hawaiian shirt that was a crossover, you know what I mean, with snap-on tools. So it was a Hawaiian shirt, but it had the snap-on tools logo on it as well. And I think we sold that for like $90 or something. But it definitely was not flannel. And so I don't know that I remember coming across a Dixon like flannel jacket, shirt, shacket type thing recently, but it was pretty trashed. And so I was like, well, it might not matter. But then I looked it up. I kind of did the eBay search with the image search, or I did a Google image search. I found out what it was, and it really wasn't selling for that much, even in good condition. So you definitely want to look up whatever the flannel, you know, if you have to make a decision whether to pay up for something or anything, just make sure it's one of the good flannels that people are looking for. And some of them can sell $100 or even more. And then, so that was Poshmark. That sold for $25. It was just the baseball cap. So, and that did take quite a few months to sell. The next three items all went to the same buyer, and I think her bundle, what was her bundle? Hold on a second. I think it was like $85 or something like that. So 65 or 85, somewhere in there. Anyway, so she bought these large 80s sunglasses with the case. She bought this Hobo International fold-over clutch. And then she also bought this bed stew. Yeah, I think it was 85 for everything. Anyway, or 80. Bed stew Hudson brass studs buckle leather belt. So Bed Stew is a brand you can keep an eye out for like boots and shoes and things like that. And this one had some like oxidation look to it, but it's not real, right? So it's on purpose, it's distressed and everything like that. So anyway, that's kind of the look to a lot of the Bed Stew boots and shoes, is very distressed looking things. Next up was this Lafayette 148 blazer that I sold for $40. I had used some hashtags like court corp core office. I did black blazer. So just kind of that office, you know, a little bit more formal kind of look. And it was a size 10, which I think also helped as well. And that sold for $40 within a week or so. And then one of our favorite brands is Cool. These men's hiking pants. Not sure why that was the first picture, but maybe something got mixed up or something when it got cross-posted. But in any case, it sold for $60. Let's pop over to Ruby Lane real quick. I had a couple sales on there. First off was this plastic hair comb that just sold for $11. As you can see, there's like some discoloration of the glue where probably a rhinestone was, someone tried to replace it. Some other discoloration over here, but just such a fun, like mid-century kind of look to it. And yeah, so somebody wanted that for $11. Next up were one of my oldest listings on Ruby Lane. I was like totally shocked when these sold. You know, Ruby Lane is one of those that I haven't really done much with my older listings. Like they're just, there's no real easy way to kind of like end them and relist them. You kind of have to start all over again. And so I just have put that off. And so so there are some things that have been on Ruby Lane for a long, long time that I'm trying, you know, I'm thinking, you know what, I should try this over on eBay. I should cull some of these things out. I don't know that it works against you as far as like dragging your store down, or it doesn't seem to have that kind of problem like you would have on eBay. So, and then it's interesting, like this week this weekend, there's like a sale running. And it's a 50% off sale, so it's kind of steep, but I decided to put some of my older stuff into that sale. You know, getting half price it's better than donating, and it's better than possibly taking the time. Like I don't do it with everything. Like I said, I only took like a small percentage of my listings and just said, hey, let's just try to move some stuff. And I did move some stuff. So even some of my oldest listings finally moved through. So we'll talk about that in a future what sold video. We'll talk about what ended up happening this week and what I ended up moving on Ruby Lane during that sale. Then this was a nice sale, $85 for this scale. It's porcelain on the front. You know, normally it's the type of scale, normally you'd put like a bowl or something like that. But I just was shocked because I see people sell stuff like this, and this was just on the shelf at Goodwill for like $6 or something. And it, you know, it didn't have any markings. Like I couldn't figure out who made it or anything like that. But it kind of just had that Delft style. You know, it's porcelain. It's definitely antique. And just kind of fun, right? So I listed it for $85 and it sold. It probably took, 6 months or something like that to finally sell. But I was happy when that sale came through. Let's move over to Etsy. The first few are things that we've cross-posted over from eBay into Mr. Pishposh's shop. I always call it his shop because I don't really do much to it day to day. $34.99 is what these sold for over here. I feel like that's a better price than we probably would have gotten on eBay. So I was happy about that. I don't know if you remember, I got those at an estate sale over the summer. Then we also sold this little cork puller, bottle opener type thing. It wasn't marked Lasercraft, but it's that same style. And so it could possibly be, a lot of Lasercraft stuff had like a sticker. And so the sticker could have been gone on that. So $24.99 for that. That wasn't a bad price. This is such a fun little set. We have another set of these too, I think in different colors. But they came with the paper cups, which is so cool. I think I got the whole box at a yard sale. Not this past summer. I think it was the summer before. And this was kind of part of our profit pile in the garage. And Mr. Pishposh was finally like, I got to do something about this. which is cool because I'd be like, at some point I probably put it off going, oh, that'll be good for the spring. That'll be good for summer with picnics and things like that. He just listed it now and it's sold now. So this little set sold for $28.99. Nothing crazy, but just kind of fun to save some vintage and let other people have, give it some new life. Speaking of new life, this this soap dish kind of had seen some action, but people, I've always sold stuff like this over the years, and it still seems to do okay. Very kind of Hollywood Regency, that kind of thing. And this was a seashell. The company was called Wolf Products of New York, and it sold for $28.99, even with, some of the signs of age and wear. Then I sold a couple patterns over in the pattern shop. This quick sew, very trendy right now. Bell bottoms, they are from the 70s. The pattern's from the 70s. That sold for $14. And then the other pattern I sold was this Vogue coat pattern. Very sleek. $20, very Y2K. And that was a nice pattern sale as well. And then over on Depop had slowed down in the month of November quite a bit. So I'm thinking, I was looking ahead. I had this one sale of this Pendleton wool skirt, which sold for the full $34 asking price, which was nice. But I didn't have another sale for 10 days after this one. So Depop kind of went dead for a bit. I don't remember necessarily not giving it as much love during that time, but anything is possible, I suppose. Okay, so that was it. That was that first week of November, and I like I always say, I try to I feel better when I'm a little more caught up on the what sold. So the next video that comes out might be another what sold in a couple days, if you guys can bear with me on seeing my sales again. And then we'll have another topic that we'll talk about later in the week, okay? So I know it's a busy time of year for everybody, so I do appreciate whenever you guys take a minute to sit down and listen to me. And I hope your sales are doing great. Feel free to leave a comment down below about anything that you've sold recently, or just tell me in general how your sales are going. And hit the like button too. That also helps, hit it if you really mean it. If there was something you learned in the What Sold video today that can help you with your own reselling, because that is the point. And I will talk to you guys later on in the week.